Once Rome fell, the world fell into a state of barbarism. Heathen and demonic peoples gathered throughout Europe, continuing to throw the world into an age of insanity. What's worse, they believed in the heretical religion of Catholicism, one that even managed to screw up Christianity. Thorak, what a mess. The only remotely civilized people were the Nordics. They were Vikings, for crying out loud. Yet the Nordics continued to travel throughout the seas, and they founded a small colony in North America. They named it Vinland. But now we move to the civilization of England, a ruthless, conquering mud hut, with the occasional stone castle led by the cruel and barbaric Catholic Church. Thankfully, the semi-civilized Norman peoples led the English into becoming a remotely prosperous nation, albeit damaged and brutalized by the Catholic Church. It was a Norman knight who first resisted his Catholic oppressors, obviously, probably due to the fact of his Norman blood. His Viking ancestry has gotten him into contact with nature, and he then began to contact the first great spirit that led him, Thorak. Thorak gave Sir John the knowledge of history from the first great civilizations to Aldrin's invasion, all the way up to the world's current horrible state. Sir John was eager, and after telling all of his fellow knights about the faith, new converts converted within a period of 5 minutes. His conversions and spreading of the true faith have triggered the Catholic Church, which, with even the Pope himself demanding to kill Sir John. Ree! 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 Sir John, knowing that even he and his based and civilized folk cannot defeat the barbarians alone in battle, has decided to challenge the King of England to the game of chess, stating that if Catholicism is true, God will never allow him to beat the King of England in chess due to the fact of the ramifications of such a deed. He'll convert back to Christianity. The Pope, believing that this would be easy, personally played the chess game. He obviously lost it so horribly the entire Catholic world cringed and departed into a small hole. Wah! Wah! Because the Catholics were so embarrassed. Sir John was allowed every single ship in the world so he could get the fuck out of England and never return, thus possibly saving, maybe saving the Catholic Church a small increment, a small morsel of face. Well, thank Thorak he's out of that place. So he decided to leave England and go on his voyage all the way to Vinland, with no stops or interruptions at all. This is simply Thorakian magic. Sir John's followers came to Vinland against all of the barbarians that tried to stop it, and eventually met a somewhat civilized people, less Thorak. The Norman knights and Nordic Vikings eventually came to an understanding. Although various pagan and Christian Nordics settled in parts of Vinland named after their god or gods, the Thracians settled in the island of Nova Scotia, naming it Henry Island, after their former king. All believed that each religion would live in harmony, and a new prosperous civilization would be established through trade and communication. As Sir John died, he stated that this island would be a great home for Thracians in the continent. It was, for a period of time. Vinland built a prosperous society trading with the various Native Americans, in which they were peaceful and welcoming towards. Many called this a wonderful golden age, but eventually things got less perfect. A mysterious Native American tribe, known only as the Butuk, slowly began to approach the colony of Vinland, and their barbaric ways have shown, as they began to raid countless villages and cities. These barbaric attacks continued, leading to many escaping to Europe or simply dying. Guess which part of Vinland fell first? Come on, guess. Obviously the Catholics. They fled to Europe like the cowards they are, often fleeing towards Scotland or England where they belong. There was one good Christian, though. Hreen Svarsham. Okay, Grim Svensson, are you happy now? Well, he defended the small town of Yunstead against a horde of barbaric scumbags. Following this departure, he left towards Henry Island, only to find out that the locals have been fighting harder and harder against the barbaric threat. Grim's forces approached the commander of the region, a descendant of Sir John Wolcott himself, Sir Sven Wolcott. The two chads met in the largest and safest city of Vinland, Johannesburg, where they discussed what to do with the savage barbarians. Sven and Grim agreed that there is no way that Vinland could survive on its own, so they decided to go on another arduous journey to find a place where they could establish a new civilization. Eventually agreeing to flee, all of Vinland went on massive and powerful longships to take them down south. They faced tropical storms, disgusting swamps, dry plains, and vast forests. Eventually they have got towards the edge of the river Selukjost, towards a large lake, to establish a new city. The city was named Utsalav, and the civilized people eventually started a small home to call their own. Join us next time where we will find out how the civilized people turned Utsalav into a massive empire and then got crushed by traitors.